but a lot of seminal research that has been done, especially for people who have 10 years, 8 years or higher experience. So a lot of research that we're going to show you, a lot of the career reports that you might have been created. How many of you have got your career reports done? The assessments? How many of you have not done? How many of you have not gotten the career assessment done before you came here? Okay, only one. So can you do? Yeah? So a few more. So can we, I don't know who's managing that, Madhurima or Gautam? Okay, we'll ask somebody to make sure that, why is it not done? Were you not given the assessment link? Or you just walked in? Okay, got it. Fair enough. Then it's a little hard. But make sure before you leave, take the assessment link. What I'm going to show you here, you might not be able to see your own report and compare because you don't have one. But before you finish, at least get the assessment done. So at least when you go home, you'll have a reflection. So the career assessment psychometric instrument that we're going to show you here, which I think many of you have taken, should hopefully reflect where that passion is, where that persistence that you want to go, where that goal is. And sometimes you may or may not be walking towards that goal, even though inherently what you want to do is coming out subconsciously in this assessment, right? A lot of people feel, how can an instrument figure this out? When I have been trying to do this myself, for 15 years on my own, and I have not still figured out what I want. How can an assessment do that? But apparently it's very accurate. It's almost 86, 87% accuracy. So there's always exceptions. Some of you might have had this wrong. But the assessment is done for thousands and thousands of professionals around the world. Edgar Schein in the MIT came up with this in the early 80s. Still very relevant. The only thing is it's less than 5 years of experience. This structured research may or may not apply, because what happens is that less than 5 years, you are in a very different zone of your career or job. You are still in survival mode, you are still in fantasy land, whatever you want to call it. And so you might not have bearings of what you want to do. Anybody less than 5 years of experience here? So a couple of you. So now when I said fantasy land, not you, but generally people, right? You guys are solid grounded guys here. So don't throw stones at me. But in general, this may or may not directly apply. Right? Just because the research has a disclaimer that it's gonna, little higher than 5 is where things get anchored. So what they're saying is each of our careers, and that's a structured definition of a career, a simple one. Each of our careers have anchors. So think of your career as a boat. And the boat is in the water swaying towards wherever the wind takes you. Right? So the analogy is that sometimes you are not in a job that you want to be. Right? Don't raise your hand, but just smile. How many of you are in a job that you'd rather not be?